Hi guys, Tom here. So I'm riding around on my Boom Veda motorcycle and I'm having a good time, but I start noticing the engine feels like it's skipping, like it's misfiring. I start looking around and guess what I found out? It's my spark plug boot that seems to be causing a problem. A lot of heat comes off of this engine. I'm riding at like 9,000 RPM. I'm riding for hours at a time. I'm having a really good time with this motorcycle. But the heat basically has fatigued this spark plug boot. The plastic is cracked. It's lost a lot of spring. It's not snapping onto the spark plug. It's not staying solid enough. I'm getting those misfires. Now, this would normally be bad news, of course, but this is actually good news because now I'm motivated to change this boot, wire, and ignition coil. So here's the upgrade. It's a Nibby Racing ignition coil and a new MSD spark plug boot. So now let's get access to the engine side by taking these panels off. Now with the side panel off, let's get this old ignition coil off. So first step, there's this terminal wire on the top we're going to pull away. And there is a second wire that sits under this bolt that mounts the ignition coil. Take this off. Put this in our parts tray. We're now going to remove the ignition coil. Ignition coil is coming out. And here it is. Line up the new coil with the old coil and down to the boot end. Now to make this more exact, we can remove the boot. So we're going to just trim these to exact same lengths. Now we can get rid of the old ignition coil. Now with the wire trimmed to length, I'm going to strip away some of the insulator. We're going to get some of the bare wire exposed, have it placed between these crimps. We're going to crimp around the wire, then we're going to crimp around the jacket. So let's get this done. What I'm going to do is just kind of nibble around the insulation. Get a little twist. Just going to twist the conductors together, keep them from fraying, then do a little final check. I want the jacket to go all the way up to the top, but I want the conductor to stay within its crimp zone. So I'm going to take a little bit off. Now with the insulation trimmed back far enough and the conductor trimmed to length, we're just going to put them into their respective crimp areas. Wire goes into the top crimp area, gets crimped, so it's squeezed inside that connection, and then now we're going to crimp this section around the insulation that's going to hold everything together. You can do it carefully. Even those pliers might be better, but I already have these in my hands. So now we have a good connection. The wire is crimped, the insulation is crimped. So let's get this inside the boot. Now to help move this along, I'm going to use a little dielectric grease right into the boot. It's going to act as a lubricant. And just got to use a little force. And it will get in there. The connector is all the way at the end of the boot. And now it's time to install the coil. Now I'm going to install the new ignition coil exactly where I found the old ignition coil and how it was set up before. I have a bolt. It's going to go through the round terminal. Just then going to go through the ignition coil right to the frame. Once it's finger tight, I'll tighten it up with a ratchet wrench. Now we'll take this last terminal connection. We'll connect it right to the terminal. I'm going to do a little bit something different. You see there's no bolt here. There was no bolt on the original ignition coil. So I'm going to put a second one right here. Now, just in case, there is a little bit of thread locker on the tip of this bolt. Don't believe it's going to interfere with any connectivity issues. And then we're just going to tighten up on this bolt. So now the ignition coil's in, and we just got to route the wire. Almost there. What I have here is a little spark plug connector that's a round bulbous end. It's designed for this boot. When I first stuck this spark plug in, it did come with it, but the stock spark plug boot only liked these thin terminals. So I'm going to return this little bulbous connection to the end of the spark plug. Use some pliers. Nice and tight. So let's do a quick test with the boot. Should be a nice snap. That is solid. I don't think you hear the snap, but there was a snap and I could feel the connector grabbing to the end. So now we're just going to route the wire. Spark plugs in, everything's connected. So before we put the panels back on, I just want to do all the connection checks. Make sure everything's solid. And do a startup check. My favorite part. Well, it sounds good. I didn't hear any misfires, so now I'll just wrap everything up by just putting the body panel on and take it out for a test ride. I wanted this to be a real quick video on how I changed my ignition coil. I wanted to say thank you for watching. If you have any questions or any feedback, leave them in the comment section below. I appreciate your time. Thanks for watching.